In a doomsday end of the world survival scenario, you may not have access to doctors and medicines, including antibiotics. So many people are stockpiling fish and other pet antibiotics so that they will have access to antibiotics when they or their loved ones might get infections. As an example, in the doomsday post-apocalyptic type situation, without access to doctors and medicine, a simple cut could get infected and a person can die as a result of the spreading infection that might otherwise easily have been resolved with antibiotics. So the thought by many preppers is that fish and other pet antibiotics would be a last resort to having no access to doctors and medication and possibly dying versus taking fish or other pet antibiotics and possibly curing the infection. This video will go over a few types of fish antibiotics, so make sure you keep inside your bug out bag. This is Impractical Knowledge. Number one on the list is pinworm infection, which affects millions here and is certainly the most common worm infection of humans in North America. The infection usually occurs in children between 5 to 10 years of age, but pinworm infects adults as well. This is particularly true when close person-to-person contact is heightened by crowded living conditions, as you can expect would happen during the shit hits the fan or a natural disaster event. Children with the infection usually have anal itching during the day. That's good indication a pinworm infection is present. The diagnosis is sometimes a horror show for all involved because the worm crawls out of the rectum at night to lay her eggs. This is when you have to find her. The good news is you don't have to go digging for the worm as you used to back in the day. All you have to do is get yourself a pack of Vermox, which is the mebendazole. Sometimes it can be prescribed over the counter, but this is definitely something you want to keep in your bag. Number two on the list is cephalexin, or otherwise known as fish flex. It is a broad-spectrum antibiotic which is useful for treating a number of respiratory infections, including strep throat, bronchitis, pneumonia, and middle ear infections. But like many broad-spectrum antibiotics, bacterial resistance to the medication is currently high and seems to be increasing yearly. It has the advantage of being safe for use in children and pregnant women and has the added benefit of producing few side effects. It is also good for treatment of ear infections, skin infections, and urinary tract infections. Next on the list is Amoxicillin, which also goes by Fishmox. Amoxicillin is used to treat many different types of infection caused by bacteria such as tonsillitis, bronchitis, pneumonia, gonorrhea, and infections of the ear, nose, throat, skin, and urinary tract. Amoxicillin also has the benefit of being safe for children and pregnant women. While it carries few side effects, many people have developed an allergy to it during childhood. If they ingest a dose later in life, they can also get or develop a total skin rash over their body. Very rarely, a person might experience much more violent attack reaction known as anaphylactic shock. If you suspect you might be allergic to amoxicillin, try something else. Ampicillin, also known as fishcillin. Ampicillin is used to treat or prevent many different types of infections such as bladder infections, pneumonia, gonorrhea, meningitis, or infections of the stomach or intestines. Very similar to amoxicillin, ampicillin is used to treat urinary tract infection, gastrointestinal infections, respiratory infections, bacterial meningitis, and more. Ampicillin is an improved formula of the first mass-produced antibiotic penicillin. Penicillin, or fish pen, today is usually only used for one type of infection, which is strep throat. Ciprofloxacin, or fish flox, is a broad-spectrum antibiotic, first-line agent for complicated UTIs and kidney infections, bone and joint infections, typhoid, prostasis, abdominal infections, gonorrhea, plague, and anthrax. Doxycycline, or fish doxy, is a preferred agent in treating chlamydia, typhus, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and cholera. Doxy will also work against anthrax, plague, and Legionnaire's disease. While not FDA approved for this, it will also treat Lyme disease. Metronidazole, or fishzole, is used in the treatment of STDs and can also help kill parasites from contaminated water. It's used for infections suspected to be caused by dental abscesses, aspiration pneumonia, intra-abdominal infections, lung abscesses, stomach ulcers, and in some cases, tetanus. Clindamycin, or fishsin, is useful in helping kill the bacteria in streps and staph. It is a first-line agent for skin and soft tissue infections, pelvic infections, intra-abdominal infections, lung infections caused by strep pneumonia, and bacteria vaginitis. Azithromycin, or Z-Paks, is a very commonly prescribed antibiotic. If you have a heart condition, do not take this as it can cause serious complications. It is also very hard to find, but fortunately its older brother, erythromycin, treats the same types of infections and is available as a fish antibiotic, fishmycin, or fish health. That's it for this episode of Impractical Knowledge. I hope you got some good information out of today's episode. If you like the channel, please subscribe, hit that like button if it was useful to you, and again, be safe in everything you do. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. This is the final product. This is what it looks like installed on my AR-15.